I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around, yeah, yeah, smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. I listen to the waves come crashing down, down, whoa, whoa. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. Listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I'm waiting on the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 ba do ba do 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 do. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. All right, I'm still setting up, so give me a few seconds here. Hold on, still checking in.
So, thank you all, of course, for being here. And again, I'm just asking because you never know. Are there any 100% newbies here? You could be out there, you could be observing, but you're not hanging out. And it's fun. And this would be the time to declare yourself. You don't have to be an outsider. You don't have to be on the fringes. Maybe you just like watching things, eating popcorn and potato crisps and things like that, and just watching everybody else do their thing. But we're inviting you to hang out. Join the crowd. Ha ha! We've got one! See, I knew it! I knew it! Ha ha ha! Bethany Campbell. Complete, utter newbie. Here we go. Ha 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 ha! One. I Okay. Oh, okay, now it's unfrozen. I don't know what happened. Bethany Campbell. Big welcome to Bethany Campbell. Yo! You are now in the healing vortex, Bethany. You are hanging out with the rest of us. We are swimming inside the healing power of love. There is a massive, beautiful vortex of the healing power of love, and we're swimming in it right now. So you're in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. And one of the reasons I ask if there are any 100% newbies who have the courage to declare themselves is, as everyone else knows, this is a chance where we get to do a hazing. But you don't have to be scared. Basically, what happens, Bethany, is you get a free reading. Ha ha ha. And you're going to be the first one in line, too. So you won't even have a clue what happens or how it happens. If you've never done this before, don't worry. We've all been through this. We've all been hazed. So don't you worry. And if you get absolutely terrified and you want to give your free reading to somebody else, to another complete, utter newbie, you can do that. Because I'm only going to do it once, okay? So, Queen of Waters, newly born. Okay, hello Olsen, I see you. Mercury retrograde freeze up. That's exactly what it was. Thank you for reminding me. Ah, I see your notes, Bethany. Smiling, how wonderful. To me, that's an indication that you are ready, willing, and able to accept your mini reading from Tarot Lumination and the Tarot Lumination Love Tribe, because most of us are here. Thank you very much. Isn't that a beautiful thing? How lovely. All right, so we're going to put Bethany's... hold on, let's go back to the stage a minute. All right, so that worked. That worked really well. Hey, Nikki, thank you very much. Double dose from Nikki. So, Bethany, you're going to get your own magic post-it note. Bethany Campbell, I think it said. All right. So, dear Bethany, you're going first. I'm going to put you right up there where we do all the readings. So there you go. Wow, that went on really well. Hi, Jasmine. Thank you for hanging out. Yes, we're all sorted out. Jeffrey has already been in touch with Tarot Illumination, so we're going to schedule Jeffrey's runner-up reading later next week. Still waiting to hear back from Melody Miles Lykoff and to schedule her reading. She was actually the grand winner. Congratulations, Melody, if you're out there. Well done. So, this has now served its purpose. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Any other newbie who wants a complete free reading, they'll have to get onto the next show. Sorry about that. That's how it's going to work here. So is everybody ready with beverages and popcorn, potato crisps, smartphones, tablets, all their paraphernalia that you have to have when you're doing live streaming shows and you want to stay in touch with the world while you're doing your live streams? Yeah. So basically I'm trying to suggest to everybody, let's get settled in. Right now, we might just have a very short show today. We've got Queen of Water. Well, we're going to start with Bethany Campbell. Then we're going to read for Queen of Water, and then for Nikki, and then for Path. Path is going to go completely blind, so you don't have to have any notes or anything. And then we're going to have a group reading. So that's how it's looking so far. If anybody wants to get a SuperChat mini reading, you just do the SuperChat buttons if you've never done it before. I'll show you on the screen here. Let me make a couple of notes, see if I can do this. I'm sure pretty much all of you know this routine already, but just in case. Like when you look at your type, you know where you're typing in and everything. There's the place where you type, okay? And underneath, like there's a line where you type, okay? And underneath there's the smiley face where you can add emoticons. And next to it is this thing here, that button here. And when you click that button, it takes you over to the Super Chat. Okay? And that's where you put your money in the pot. Just like when you're doing any kind of online purchase. It just goes through the Google system, that's all. So is anybody out there? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll leave this here. So, it's been very interesting. I just want to hang out for a little bit first. Hold on. Yeah, chips and salsa. This is a great show for doing chips and salsa, chip and dip, maybe some guacamole and stuff like that. Little super savory rice crackers or something. It all goes down very well. You don't have to have big sandwiches. You don't have to. You can be vegan. You can be a meatarian, whatever it is. I don't really mind. Anyway. So, some of you were here yesterday because then we did the lucky draw. The lucky draw winner for the big live complex in-person super reading from Tarot Lumination is for Melody. So Melody's been contacted and she's gonna reply soon. And the runner-up gets a mini reading. And essentials, and that's for Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's here. We're already connecting, so we'll see you in about a week. Okay? Yeah, I know. And you have to get a paper towel or something and wipe up the drool. And if you're drooling and stuff, you don't want it to get on your hands and go on your smartphone or your tablet. Once you start getting like salsa and chips oil and dip all over your keyboard, it gets really disgusting really quickly. And it spreads like a freaking virus. So don't do that. I don't know if any of you have been... Okay, I'm going to be very serious now. I don't know if any of you have been aware, but if you are watching the astrological clock for 2020, it's pretty freaking mind-boggling. There are some very specific calendar moments which we need to all keep an eye on, because they're going to be very powerful trigger moments. We might see it come out in the world news, things like that. Like, for example, Mars is just entering Capricorn, and then in a little while, Mars is going to be conjunct Pluto. Okay? That's very serious alignment. When Mars conjoins with Pluto, in some interpretations, that's war. I'm not trying to scare people, but it could also be the aggravation that happens at a very, very deep, profound level on a global scale, where people start to lash out, like one country starts lashing out at another country, and everything that's wrong with this country, they blame it on that country, and everything that's wrong with this country, they blame it on that country. And you know who those big countries are, all right? And that's all in the news already. And that's a byproduct of the virus, the coronavirus. So please be aware. I think we're looking at a whole year of highly inflammatory events that are going to be triggered through the astrological waves right now. We've got the big Jupiter alignment coming very soon. Jupiter in Capricorn with Pluto. That's very big news. That's going to affect the whole planet. What's the other thing? We've got all the eclipses, okay? We've got a couple more Cancer Capricorn eclipses. Okay, so keep an eye out on that. You might want to get one of those downloaded eclipse calendars. Okay, keep an eye out. Those are very important dates in the year. Also, with the eclipses, we're going to start moving towards the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse season. Okay, we're moving. By the end of this year, all the Cancer Capricorn eclipses will be gone. Okay, and we're looking into a whole new world. By the end of the year, actually even sooner, Saturn moves into Aquarius, okay? It's a very different energy, okay? It's going to amplify the message that we all have to find ways to operate from a more egalitarian world perspective. Hold on a second. Got to say hello to the gang. Okay, I'll be in here. I'm running a show. All right. See you in a while. Okay. Sorry about that. Family members just coming back in, okay? Yeah. Yeah, everybody. Hello, V. Matos. Hello. Hello, V. Matos. I never saw that. So welcome. We have two complete newbies here. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So, what was the other thing? Yes, I wanted to say that Saturn is going to eventually move away out of Capricorn and head into Aquarius. It's going to be a big shift in energy. If anybody has very significant Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio aspects, you're going to feel it, okay? Especially if you have a strong Aquarian aspect somewhere, like a planet, a north node, a very hard angled aspect or an opposition, something like that. So just bear that in mind. I don't really like to predict what's going to happen. What I tend to like to do is just mark my calendar and be aware that stuff happens at these significant trigger moments, okay? So the whole of 2020 is a really epic year for the whole planet. We have to pay attention. I personally, as you know, I wrote a book about it. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some kind of world war, but it's not world war in the way that we know it or have known it. I think it's like World War III will be triggered, but it will be a war that is conducted through the financial markets, like the stock markets, the Federal Reserve banks of all the major trading companies, and corporate warfare. Think of Capricorn, okay? Think of Capricorn energy, corporations, businesses, structures, infrastructures. Everybody who is deeply vested in the global status quo in a way that works for them is going to do everything they can to protect and defend and maintain their status quo. And anything that threatens their status quo will be regarded as war. Like it'll be regarded as an attack. And I think, like Nikki's saying, coronavirus. I think the coronavirus is simply like an allegory. It's the background which is triggering what's going to happen. It triggers the fear, but the actual behavior is going to be acted out through global finance, global economics, currency wars, currency trading, trade wars, and all that kind of stuff. Corporate warfare, political warfare. And that will have an effect on the masses, on the people, okay? Yeah, it will be almost like what some people would call global insanity. And the difference is, like, 20 years ago, when they had 9/11, we still had the internet, but we were not connected like we are today. Global population is, exploding. Global communications are exploding. Global integration, multiculturalism has just exploded all over the planet. And so everybody is exposed all of the time. We're all interconnected. So there's no way out of it. In other words, you can't stay over here and then drop a bomb onto these people over here, because that affects the people back here who came from here. And so people get stuck in these like traps. Nikki has mentioned something. Look at that. Look at Nikki's notes, okay? Yeah, look at Jasmine, okay? Jasmine is viewing the corona as a weapon. It could be deliberate, okay? Markets dropped crazy. The past 5 days, it was the worst market day in the last week since 9/11. There you go. And I think we're just at the starting phases. We're just at the eclipses, and we're going to have like rolling thunder. We're going to have more and more events that are going to pile on top of each other, and we'll witness it live, okay? Yeah, you don't have to live at the mercy of this stuff. You can respond. You don't have to react. You can respond, okay? Just remember to protect your privacy, protect your money, protect yourself, okay? I believe that good fences make good neighbors, and it starts at home. It starts with you. It starts with your home. It starts with your loved ones, your family, okay? Go back to the basics, the absolute basics, okay? Thank you for that note, Queen of Water. No. Yeah. All right, now that I've scared everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that was my little rant. I had a bit of a rant yesterday as well, but I'm giving myself permission to do it because I see this as like a very significant astrological time, and I've written about it for years ago, and now it's actually happening. And it will continue to happen. Life will move on. It's not the end of the world. We're just going through a big, big, big shift. It's happening now. Oh, that's ugly. Look at that. Look at that note from Path Traveler. That's really ugly. It's very scary. All right. I have a little cup of decaf here. I hope you are all settled with your beverages and... Got your beverages, got your snacks. Like with this, I should really have cookies, but I can't have cookies while I'm doing reading because, it gets all over the screen, it gets all over the stage, it goes all over the microphones. It's not cool. You can do all that. Yeah. Thank you, Frittily. That's a nice way of putting it. SHIFT happens. All right, Bethany Campbell. Bethany Campbell, are you still there? I hope so, because we're going to do your reading now. Greetings, Bethany. This is Tarot Lumination. A while ago, we had some people who came into the show. They said they'd been watching it for 3 years, which is the whole time of the whole channel ever existed. And then they finally decided that they wanted to participate. That was pretty cool. Hello, V. Matos. So Bethany, can you type it in the screen? Let us all know you're still here, because you're going to get your reading. We're going to start the whole show in just a second once I know you're there and settled, and we can connect properly. Okay? No need to be shy. We've all done this before. We've all been through it. Nikki's got her tax returns. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, Bethany, here we go. This is it. Let's go to the stage, people. It's time to get to work. We got stuff to do here. We got really important stuff to do. Thank you. All right, so I'll put a last call out for Super Chats. If anybody wants a Super Chat mini reading, it's here. You can do this. You just, wherever you're typing right now, It's a super chat reading. You put like $10 in. You press this button. It takes you to the super chat thing, and you put your card number in. Then it comes to Terra Lumination, and then you get your magic post-it note. Okay. I think we got enough room for one more if anyone's interested. Okay. All right. Let's do this, people. Bethany, you're up. Okay, so we're working in a remote location, as you know, some of you know, and that's good. Just needed that. I'm going to start with a very basic deck. I want to keep things absolutely as fundamental as possible. So Bethany, you might recognize this. It's the very well established universal weight deck. It's Rider Waite, and it's very popular. This deck, I can assure you, Bethany, this deck is still as good as it started. I've done thousands of readings with this deck, literally thousands of readings, and it's still good. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? Yeah. So Bethany, you don't have to say anything. We're going to go completely blind. Okay? So just imagine you're at a kind of a gypsy fair, okay? You're at some kind of hippie gypsy fair way out in the boonies somewhere, and everybody's walking around looking like they come from the 1960s or something, and they're wearing hippie clothes, and everybody's got a smile on their face. Some people are like drugged out on LSD. Some people are just already vegetarians and they're just chewing straw, and they're smoking the early days of marijuana before it became very strong. And everybody's blissfully happy. And then you find one of those little tiny little cabins on wheels, and you realize, oh my God, that's a tarot reader. Way out on a hippie festival. Way out in the corner. Well, that's just what we're doing here. Pretend you're in one of those little tiny tarot reader tin cans, and they're sitting on the side of the road, and it's all very mysterious and beautiful and wonderful. Okay, calm down, people. I'm not going to predict. Oh my gosh. Nikki's going to call the cards. Now remember, no jumpers, no flyers, no reversals. I just keep it very simple. And I'm going to use the Terra Lumination situational spread, okay, Bethany? This is more or less like a diagnostics. Imagine you've got a problem with your car. It's making some weird noises and there's weird smoke coming out of it. And you think, well, I need to check into this. That's what we're doing here. This is a situational spread. It's the same spread they use in the White House. As you know, Terra Lumination is directly connected to the Situation Room in Washington, D.C. So whoever the president is, it doesn't matter. If they need me, they just give me a call and we just get connected and they say, okay, spell it out, Terra Lumination. What's the situation? Do we bring in the CIA, the FBI, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force? Do we bring in, I don't know, SpaceX? What are we going to do? What do we do? What do we do? Got to take care of business. Maybe we should celebrate. Oops! Don't look at that. Don't look at that. I know you saw it. Please wipe that from your memory. You can do it if you want. I'm not going to factor it into the reading. Okay. Yeah, pretend that Terra Lumination has long hair and I'm wearing kind of a bandana and I've got lots of rings and I'm covered in with incense and crystals. Just imagine that, okay? As you know, I'm not, but I'm just asking you to like use your imagination. So here we go. Cards are well shuffled and they were already well Look at that. It's insane. Don't. Okay? Nikki. Oh, hello, Ivona. I just saw you. Greetings. We're just hanging out. We're just doing one of our regular Super Chat shows. Cards are well shuffled. Okay, bless this deck. Bless every single card. Every single one. And we're going to go for it. Give me a second. Hold on. That's my decaf, by the way. I don't want to get too excited. You'll see what happens in a moment, all right, Bethany? So just hang in. And if this all works out for you and you get really excited, I invite you to become a member, to join the Patreon membership. You can check the links below. Okay, this is it. All right, Bethany. Please snuggle up. Imagine you're inside the little tarot reader's little miniature cabin on wheels. And you're sitting at the little desk over there. And we have lots of sort of like hippie paraphernalia, spooky crystals and all sorts of fun stuff. And you're just here. What's the situation? What's the challenges? And how are we going to handle this? And let's have a look at the weather. The weather would be what I think was astrological influences, but it could be anything in your world. And we're going to find out in a moment. Okay, with the Five of Pentacles, my feeling is that it's important to be very aware. This is a message to you. This feels like it's a very, very gentle, huggy kind of message. Like, please, Bethany, be very aware of the decisions that you make regarding the company that you keep. Okay? I hope this makes sense to you. To me, it feels like it's a very gentle, subtle, kind message to be very, very kind to yourself, okay? And to remember that you have very valuable assets stashed away, and you cannot afford to squander any of this right now on things like sentiment or being feeling like you have to be charitable or nice or kind just for people to like you. You're not allowed to do people pleasing, okay? My feeling is with the Five of Pentacles here for you, Bethany, is that anytime you allow yourself to indulge in people pleasing, you are impoverishing yourself. When you impoverish yourself, you impoverish others. Remember, here at Tarot Illumination, the number one code is to love thyself. It's the hardest thing to do there is. And this is a reminder. Love is as love does. Love is a measurable asset, okay, in this reading. And you have very valuable assets here. You're not allowed to squander this on frivolous relationships or sentimentality or anything like guilt or feeling like you owe people, okay? And don't even worry if people owe you. Right now, this is take care of your business. Mind your own business, Bethany, and be very, very careful about the company that you keep. All right? That's the situation. Okay, with the Knight of Swords here, my feeling is that inside of you, you are really bursting out to call out some long-awaited, perhaps unwelcome truth. And like, it's time for you to like step into the arena of your life a little bit more, where you might have been a bit shy, you might have been reserved, and now you're realizing, like perhaps over years or many, many years, how you might have impoverished yourself through behaviors and patterns that inevitably lead to impoverishment. And you get to the point where you realize you needed someone like Tarot Illumination to just tell you right to your face, this is not allowed anymore, okay? It's time for you to like turn it around and go deeper, deeper into your true wisdom. It's time for you. The situation is all about Bethany tapping into universal truth and living by the universal truth, the universal laws of nature, universal laws of physics, okay? Forget about opinions. Forget about someone else's, perspectives. What really counts is the truth. It's like the situation right now is to me, it feels very urgent. It's time for you, Bethany, to become more and more familiar with universal truth as opposed to subjective truth or opinions. There's a huge difference. And you might have been a victim or might have been very vulnerable to other people's energies in such a way that you ended up becoming impoverished, and it's not acceptable anymore. What's the problem with all of this? What's the fear going on? Okay, this feels like it's the fear of speaking up, the fear of rising into your own light, the fear of rising into your own power, the fear of rising out of well-established power structures and status quo and moving into a more spiritual alignment where you are living more and more in alignment with divine truth, with source energy, with divine sense of purpose and meaning. It's so much easier to live a life where you give away all your power, all your wealth, all your assets to the status quo or to everyone else because you don't want to displease anybody. Because if you displease somebody, you might be disliked, or you might be ostracized or thrown out of the community or disregarded, or somebody might want to put you down for trying to live in the universal truth. And that would be terrifying to someone who has, perhaps undermined themselves or impoverished themselves or suppressed themselves, for a long time. So it would almost feel like sheer terror. The terror of speaking up and converting to a life of universal truth would be terrifying, because it means oh my God, Bethany's changed. Bethany's changing. Wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, so how are we going to deal with this? You could become very unpopular with some people by deciding to live in truth. Okay? You could become very highly appreciated by some other people that you don't even know yet by making the decision to rise above the status quo and the energies of egoic desire to feel okay, and instead live a very spiritually satisfying life. So how do we do this? It's very hard. This is tough, okay, Bethany? Okay, you do what works, okay? You do it in very small steps, one tiny step at a time. My feeling here is that however you do this, whether it's with your relationships, with your finances, with your jobs, with your loved ones, your family, I don't know, kids, spouses, relatives, or whatever it is, when we're talking about this needs to be fixed. And the only way you fix this is you have to stop doing what does not work, okay? And you have to start doing what does work. With the Knight of Pentacles, this is a very sober, solid, conscientious, responsible, long-term approach to how are you going to manage your assets. And I would like to say these assets include love, okay? And so it's time to make a real wake-up call and make sure that you only invest your love, your energy, your time, your resources, your skills, your talent in what works. And you stop pouring time, energy, love, resources into a drain of people, relationships, situations that don't work. Walk away from the dramas. Walk away from the wars. Walk away. Just basically give up. Literally surrender. Give up and admit that there are things that are not working, and make a deep vow of commitment to yourself to only invest your time, your deeply valuable, precious time, love, money, energy, resources into what works on a day-to-day basis. This requires a daily affirmation. I will only do what works. Love myself. Love thyself. I need to love myself now. No more people pleasing. Okay? And then you do that one day at a time. It's almost like the serenity prayer for alcoholics. Whatever it is, like, dear Lord, or whatever that is. Dear Lord, help me to have the serenity to accept that which I cannot change. Help me to have the courage to change what I can, and so that I can grow and evolve and adapt and blossom. And please help me to tell the difference between the impoverishment and the good stuff, so that you know it, you feel it in your physical body, and then you act accordingly. Okay? That's your reading, Bethany. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so I'm going to clear this up and we're going to move on. Okay. Hold on, I just saw some notes on the chat. Stay there. Okay, I just want to check in with Bethany. Okay, so thank you, Bethany. That's wonderful. So maybe this, might make you feel validated, like you did show up at the right place at the right time for the right reasons. It's very much the way to do this now is take care of yourself. You are number one. Mind your own business. Don't worry about everybody else. It's their problem if they can't handle you being the best person you can be for yourself. It's time to invest in yourself. Okay? Thank you, Bethany. I'm going to clear this up now. I need to put on a tiny piece of music because that was a really interesting start there. Okay, give me a second. Okay. All right. Right now, thank you, Bethany. That was great. I really enjoyed doing that with you. Gonna put this over here. Move this up to here. We've got room for one more over here in case anybody's feeling rich. Super rich, of course. I'm always inviting mega moguls and trust fund babies, Okay. All right, let's have a look. So, Queen of Water, you're over in Melbourne. I know Australia has lost like 20% of its forest or something crazy. It's insane, but again, welcome to the reality check police. I keep talking about it. Hold on. Talking about the reality check police. It's all heavy, heavy Capricorn energy, and it's very, very serious. It's like very, very simple. It's so simple. It's all about the three-dimensional realities of life here on this planet. Okay? So, for example, this is a very historical time right now in the astrology. The last time we had something this big was 1776. And you know what that means for America. We're going through something similar here. And I've talked about this before. Where I believe America is going through a massive convulsion. I personally see that America, the United States of America, like it or not, is held up as a pillar of stability. It's like that smelly underwear analogy. Let's just say you open the drawer and you're looking for a new set of underwear. All the underwear is stinky and old and dirty, but the United States has it's the least problematic, okay? The problem is that it's problematic. And everywhere on the planet now is now indirectly connected with the United States because of Google, YouTube, and Facebook, okay, and eventually Amazon. They're all going to be operating on a global scale, okay? The next level of integration is China, because China is now fully integrated across the whole planet with every other economy. So that's like a massive convergence. So if you can imagine this massively interconnected entity called the United States and this massively integrated entity called China, they're operating as though they want to control an olden world themselves, but it's all one thing. And so when something bad happens over here, it affects everybody over here. When something bad happens over here, it affects everybody over here. And you can't escape from it. Like 100, 150 years ago, we could not have had this conversation, okay? Global humanity was not connected in the way that we are now. Yes, we had sea travel, ocean travel, and the early days of railway trains, and then eventually things like cars and telephones and TV and radio, and that's great. But now it's accelerated to a whole new level, and humanity is waking up to the realization that we have to operate on a decentralized basis. We can't create an ancient, dominant, I don't know how to say it without hurting people's feelings. I don't know. It's very dangerous to create a single hierarchy, like who's at the top, who's at the boss, because that's a formula for war. And in a few weeks, I think it's about the end of March, Mars is going to be conjuncting with Pluto. And astrologically speaking, over time, that has usually indicated war. Mars conjunct Pluto is very much a warlike alignment. And I'm not going to go into that again, but I think the subject matter of like a world at war with itself, it isn't just like, Germany against England or France. It's now world against the world, and we're all in it. And we have never been this place before in human history. Ever, 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 ever. Okay? So anyway, how did I get onto that rant? What was I? I just started ranting for no reason. I guess I'm being affected like everybody else. I mean, I have my views, I feel relatively safe. But in the city north of here, some of the supermarket shelves are empty because of panic buying to do with the virus. And there's a lot of companies over here that are going broke because of this virus, because there's no tourism. There's imports and exports have been completely gutted and destroyed for a lot of big companies, okay? Man-made disaster, yes. We could rant about this for hours if we wanted to. Anyway, so let's go on. Let's move over to Queen of Water over there in Melbourne, okay? Stay right there. All right, Queen of Water over there in Melbourne. You had I would think your Capricorn new moon eclipse moment earlier this year with all the big fires. Massive global reality check. Serious global reality checks. Nobody can escape from the news. You can't, even if you're in the Amazon jungle or Borneo or Congo or Kuwait or Kazakhstan, you are going to be impacted directly or indirectly by what is happening on planet Earth now on the collective, okay? So it's time to wake up. Queen of Water, let's have a look. Dear Queen of Water, do you have any particular issues or do you want me to go blind? I'm just going to check in on the screen here with you, okay? Let's have a look. Queen of Water. You know how I do this? Like, for example, Queen of Water, we could do something like this. What are the messages that you have for me today, right now, regarding the subject of ... dot, dot. And you can fill in the blanks, okay? It could be like finances, health, my home, my family, my relatives, my spouse, my children, my career, my spiritual evolution, whatever it is. Maybe just one or two, maybe three words, okay? So, dear Queen of Water, if you've got something like that in mind, please type it in and let me know. And then we'll put that into the reading. Otherwise, if you want, I'll just go blind. It says here, I see it. No, not really. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, not really. Okay, so we'll just go blind. All right, we'll just go blind. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Path. By the way, I'm leaving this open. I can probably accept one more reading for somebody over here. If there's anyone out there who wants a reading through Super Chats, just follow the message. I'll show you again. I can't remember. There was somebody called V Matos. If you want a reading, what you do is you see where you're typing. There's a little button down there, and it's the $sign. You press that, and it clicks, and it opens up the Super Chat. And the Super Chat is where you put like an online payment in, and it comes straight over here to the channel. And when I see it, then you get your reading. It's basically like $9. You know, it's like a $10 mini reading. That's how we do it. And that's for anybody who's out there. I've got enough space for one, maybe two more. You know, if it's just going to be a short show, it'll be a short, quiet show. No big deal. Alright, so I'm going to use the situational spread again, alright, Queen of Water, and we'll see what kind of storyline comes up. So, I guess just relax, enjoy yourself. Glad to have you here. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Queen of Water. Okay. Now, cards are already well shuffled, as you know. I'm not going to do any jumpers or flyers, no reversals. Just want to keep it super, super, super simple. Super simple. All right, let's have a look. So let's get tuned in here. What messages do we have here today for the Queen of Water? Okay. Cards are well shuffled. Bless this deck, every single card. Bless the channel. Bless the fact that we can even do this at all around the world like we're doing right now. I'm going to do a really extreme cut so I can break up the deck. Get my things nice and clear for you. Okay. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for you. Okay. So with this moon energy here, my feeling is that there's a very, very, very like deep kind of primal energy of fear in the collective that is surrounding you right now. You might not feel it personally, because you could be just going ahead living your life as though everything's just fine. But what I think is happening here with the moon card is that there are some very, very, very serious energies happening out there on the planet right now. Some of them are very wonderful, like there's this amazing sextile energy between all the Capricorn and the Pisces energy. And it's fantastic. And also the Scorpio energy, and perhaps in some ways the Virgo energy. But there's also a flip side of this energy. It's a very, very tough energy to handle. Like with the Pisces new moon about a week ago, whenever it was very serene and beautiful in its own way. But that's kind of when, you know, things started to really break out about the virus. And Pisces, Neptune energy, Mercury retrograde, Neptune. And what was the other one? There's like four over there. There were 4 planets in Pisces at that time. So it's almost, to me, what I'm feeling here for you, Queen of Water, is like, if you're not scared, maybe you should be a little bit. Okay? It's like another, like some people don't want to know. Some people don't want to know the news. They don't want to know how bad it is, and I'm kind of one of those people. I don't care. I don't want to know, but also on the other hand, I still sense it, and so sometimes I have to check in on it to validate and verify my own instincts. So what I'm saying here, with the moon, to me, it's telling me, Queen of Water, go ahead, live your life, just be who you are, do what you do, live in love, live in a very, very gentle, loving way, and kind of trust in the way things are right now. Everything is exactly as it should be. It can't be any other way. All the horrific nightmares of the world that are happening right now, that's exactly as it should be. All the wonders and beauty that are happening right now, that's exactly as it should be. You keep going forward anyway. You face the fear, you go forward anyway. What I'm suggesting here is, it's almost like, please be aware about how potentially risky things are and how they will continue to be, and please don't let down your guard. Okay? Now, what's the situation? Well, with the Knight of Wands here, my feeling is that it's almost like you're eager to be the eternal optimist, and you are not going to let all the scary headlines take you down. In fact, you might be one of these people who's just the opposite. It's just like, you know what? I refuse to live in fear. I need to be aware of the fear. Yes, I'm going to become more and more aware of the fear. I'm going to learn what it means, understand the implications for me, but I refuse to live in fear. Instead, I'm going to go forward. It's almost like to me, it feels like these two things are happening simultaneously. Like there's part of you that is absolutely terrified right now, and just in the way that the whole world is terrified because of the global collective thing triggered by coronavirus and so on. But there's much more to it. Like all those fires in Australia and what that means for the world economy, or for the economy of Australia, and for climate change, all those things, they're very deep, real, profound messages. And in many ways, they are very, very fearful messages. But you are determined to be the optimist anyway, okay? That's how I'm looking at this. You're determined, and you're going to deliberately choose to do the right thing, almost like it is your, it's like an act of chivalry. It is your job to maintain the positivity when anyone and everyone else around you might be floundering in fear. You're aware of the fear, and you need to be aware of the fear, but you keep going anyway. Okay? Now, there's no fool card here, but what I'm sensing is that you got to be very careful that you do not underestimate the perils of what's happening on a global scale with all the negative stuff. Please be aware of that. Do not underestimate that stuff. It's real. And then just say to yourself, okay, it's like, well, okay, that's it. I'm just going to keep going anyway, because I have to. Because I don't want to live in fear. You're not going to live in fear. You're determined not to live in fear, even though you might be surrounded by fearful energies. So what's the problem here with this? Okay, so in some ways, this exposes a little bit of innocence, where it's almost like you would be scared to admit how much fear there is around you. You know how little children are sometimes? Have you ever sort of hung around with little children in playgrounds and just observed how they behave, like when a bully comes in and starts messing things up with other people? There are one child might intervene and want to say, you need to stop that. Another child might be sitting aside and just watching it like a just like another event, daily life. And another child might be very terrified and just run away from the situation. What I'm sensing here with all this Wands energy is that it's almost like you're too brave. It's almost like you're too brave, you're too courageous, you're so well intended, you have such good intentions, but there's a real problem that you might be very vulnerable because of your innocence, and where it's like your innocence could be so easily crushed without even knowing it. And that's it's almost like, like when parents are trying to raise their children, the parents know that they have to let their children do things that involve risk, like to cross the street on their own, to make decisions on their own and accept the consequences. And it's very tough for parents to do that, but they know that if they don't do that, they are, let's say, overprotecting the child. And so my feeling is that it's really important for you to know that in some ways you are very sweet and very innocent and very well intended, and that's one of your vulnerabilities. So you have to be very, very careful that you're not too brave, you're not too courageous in the face of fear. How do you deal with that so that you do not come unglued because of the potential dangers around you? Okay, so with the Justice card here, there's a very, very harmonizing, balancing type of energy going on here. My feeling is that if we're honest, there's a part of you, Queen of Water, which is very aware about how innocent you are in some things, and how sometimes you might like to charge ahead with all the best of intentions on the most innocent and healthy and wholesome intentions. But the reality is that it's almost like the innocence of a child, where I'm not saying you're a child or immature, I'm just saying it's the rich innocence of someone who is vulnerable. And you can't afford to do that. It's great to be courageous. It's great to put yourself at risk. It's great to face down the fears and go forward anyway. But you're vulnerable here. So how do you... Now, it might be something to do with legal matters, obviously, or with historical events in your life, like legacy issues that are coming to the surface that need to be dealt with right now. It could be anything, property or quarrels or adjustments, or making things right between yourself and certain other people, or between yourself and the world. So the way to go, to me it feels like the way to go forward is to, it's almost like I was talking about earlier about universal truth. It's almost like, this almost feels like a very philosophical reading. Allow that everything is exactly as it should be, and it can't be any other way. There are certain things you can't fix and will never be able to fix, no matter how much you want to put the world to rights. Like some people are very courageous about human rights, social justice and things like that. But still, barbaric things happen, and they're going to continue to happen because human beings are our own worst enemy. So I think it's really important to understand that in a very mature sense, like going from the bravery and the courage of the innocence here and taking a leap, looking at life from a much more mature, kind of brutally honest, truthful perspective, and allowing that justice will be served. In other words, those people and those things that happen on the earth that are going wrong, no offense, but they deserve it, okay? On the individual level and on the collective level. And everything that's working for some people, they deserve it at the individual and the collective level. And so I think this is not telling you what to do. This is more like a message about how to expand your awareness about how you live your life right now, coming from a much more detached, mature perspective, where you don't have to take things so personally or too personally. You can still be courageous and have the best of intentions, but my feeling is please be aware of how innocent and vulnerable you are to the malicious influences of others and other people and other events and situations. And like, be a very, very good parent to yourself right now and take a neutral view. Like, all the things that are bad, they're bad for a reason. All things that are good for a reason, and justice will be served. All you need to do here is stay in the light, stay courageous, and keep on the good path, and you will benefit from this energy, by staying positive. Justice will be served. And you might want to help others do that. You might be a bit of a crusader. You might be a bit of a vigilante. You might be kind of someone who wants to save the world a bit. But there's only so much you can do. The best thing to do is save yourself, and take care of number one, and let justice play itself out, okay? The important thing is to love thyself and let things take their natural course. Number one, love thyself. You don't have to save anybody. You don't have to save the world. Take care of yourself and let the good things happen to you that you deserve. And allow the bad things that happen to everyone else that they deserve. Let that happen. It's not your problem. It's not your job to save them. Your job is to look after yourself, love thyself, okay? And let justice work through the universal laws of justice. Not subjective justice, universal justice, okay? Thank you, Queen of Water. I hope that helped you. Nikki is going to be up next. Okay, I'm going to put all this away. That was a very kind of nebulous philosophical reading for you, Queen of Water. I hope we got something out of it. Let's have a look. Hold on. I'm just going to check the screen for the chats a second. Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Sarah is over there in Benghazi. Hello, Benghazi. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm going to put path up here now. I'm going to move this up to here. Nikki's going to be up next. I'm going to shuffle it right up. So let me just check in with Queen of Water here. Hold on. Hey, Queen of Water. That felt like a very philosophical thing that I was getting about you and for you. It's almost like as if you had, like what they do in school. They have like a counselor's room or something. Like if a student has a problem, there's a little office where you can go to and you can talk with a counselor and deal with things about like, whatever's troubling you. You're not going to get punished or anything. All that happens is you need to, like, sometimes people need to, like, clear themselves and talk to someone who actually cares. Like, it's their job to care and to understand and throw some perspective back at you. And that's kind of how it felt here for me, working with you. I felt like we were dealing with things that you probably wouldn't have these conversations like with your immediate friends or family, or even with yourself. And it was almost like a sort of knock, knock, knock on the door kind of energy, where it's like, well, I'm just like, how, students do that. They'll walk into the little council room like, hello, I needed to talk with someone. And then the counselor kind of goes, yes, well, please, Queen of Water, sit down. What's going on? And then Queen of Water says, like, well, actually, I don't know. It's like things like with my mom and my dad and school and my homework, like everything is like, it's just like, I'm not really sure what's going on. And then the counselor kind of goes, yes. Aha. That's kind of what I felt was going on there. And I was almost like in the role of this like student counselor, if that makes sense. And my job was to have a very neutral, supportive perspective that I present back to you. No punishing, no judgment, nothing like that. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Sarah is here. I think I just said hello over there in Benghazi. Wow. So we're transmitting from New Zealand to Benghazi right now. That's pretty cool. Almost everyone else, I think, is in North America. Wait, no. Queen of Water is over there in Australia. Where else have we got? Anyway, let's keep going. This might be a very short show, by the way. It seems like we have a very small number of people. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, Bethany. Have a super time. Thank you for being here. It was an honor to read for you and with you. Take care. Sleep well. All right, let's get over to the stage. Hold on. All right, so Nikki, what's going on? I'm just going to pull these out. And these are already shuffled, but we're going to go again and then again. Just got to make sure. You know the drill, Nikki. You've seen this many times. I really thank you for your support. You've been very kind and very generous. Okay, I need to get this really clear. Because as you know, Nikki is a professional psychic medium. She can see through all of this. She could probably see inside every single card here. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. I'm going to do it again. I want things to be super clean, clear. Nikki, I'm going to just go blind again, if that's okay. I've been really enjoying doing these full-on blind readings. It's all about the feel, and then of course you can reinterpret it to suit yourself. Because usually we touch on some kind of trigger, you know, and then you recognize, oh, now I know what he's talking about. Got it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do a very, very extreme split. Tiny, tiny, big. Okay? All right. Oh, I just have to say something. Sorry, this is completely off subject. Stay there, don't go away. Okay. Recently I've been having Taylor Swift dreams. Okay? And it's like we're buddies. And, you know, we hang out and so on and so on. I know very little about Taylor Swift, so I ended up watching this little mini documentary thing on Taylor Swift yesterday on my Netflix. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. I can see why she's wanting to connect with me in spirit. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to check. I'm going to check the Taylor Swift astrology. And I was completely blown away because I could instantaneously see these huge telltale marks that would connect us very strongly in spirit through the ether. Okay? Now, some of you know that I used to be a wannabe pop star, and I had some mega opportunities that I turned away because they were not in alignment with how these opportunities play out. And sadly, it meant that I had to walk away from perhaps being very wealthy and very successful because the conditions that came with the contracts were so evil that I just couldn't do it. It doesn't matter how rich and famous you can be. I just couldn't do it. So I didn't. And that was the end, okay? But it's a very different story for Taylor. She was like, she had very loving parents, and she's very well nurtured, and she sings and plays music and all that kind of stuff, and it worked out for her. And she has a net worth right now apparently about $340 million. So she's way, way, way up there. Way, way up there. And yet she's kind of down to earth. I kept thinking, I'm resonating. And then I saw it on the charts. Oh my God. You should see the chart for Taylor Swift. Okay, I'm just going to say a couple of things. Capricorn, Cancer. Okay? She actually has a Sagittarius sun. And she has a strong Aquarian element. She has an Aquarius North node. So my feeling is that this lady, Taylor Swift, is on a long-term life mission journey to, I think like in 30 years from now, I'll probably be gone by then, but she'll be on the global stage perhaps with politics. Okay? There's a strong connection with 1776 as well. It's freaky, okay? And I'm not going to say anything else right now, but I just wanted to mention it, that there are things that happen on the global scale, on the collective, through the ether. I should probably play that little song right now. In fact, I think I will. So that you can understand that we're all connected through the ether, and our life here on a three-dimensional planet only exists through the narrow parameters of our physical senses: our eyes, our nose, our ears, our mouth, and our touch. Okay? All of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 senses. Okay? And then we put all that, we process through that brain. And with this channel, we try to make the brain the servant of the heart. Whereas a lot of people live where the heart is the servant of the brain, which means you're going to guarantee pain and suffering in your life, okay? More than you need. Anyway, I think I'm going to play that little song to celebrate my connection through the ether with Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift has a very, very powerful Capricorn alignment. And I think that's why her life has reached such a massive crescendo at the point of her Saturn return right now. Okay? So, watch this. I'm just going to kind of feed it in gently. I hope you don't mind. I see it as something kind of ethereal. So I'm going to do it sort of like this. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to play this song. So thank you, Nikki. Be patient. Okay. Let's see if this works.
Through the ether.
Yep, I got it.
Laying up and around in our mountains, in our seas and our forests, with all of our stones, exploring one another, pushing our boundaries like new lovers. And you comfort me through the ether, and you tell me, I can tell that you're worried about me, and you assure me through the ether that we're okay, everything is gonna be okay, that you're holding my hand all the way. Our innocence is becoming so apparent in our magnificence at the same time too. And with your permissions and our shared ambitions, we get the chance to discover our own truths. And you comfort me through the ether, and you tell me, I can tell that you're worried about me, is gonna be okay. That you're holding my hand all the way. That you're holding my hand all the way. Holding my hand all the way. Holding my hand all the way.
So, thank you very much for your patience again. Now we're actually going to go off and do Nikki's reading. So it's going to be over here. Oh, hold on. Jasmine, I'm just reading your note on the screen there. I don't think I checked in with my Instagram today. So you actually put in a request for some music? Uh-huh. Well, obviously I must have heard it through the ether. Ha 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 ha. That was a joke. Because I am playing music specifically that I would not have played otherwise. Alright, Nikki, you're up. So, as some of you know, Nikki is a professional psychic medium. And she picks up things like through the ether. Okay? It could be anything, anytime, anywhere, with anybody. Right now we're going to do a reading for Nikki. Let's see what kind of messages come out here. Actually, we just cut the deck, didn't we? I remember that. We just cut it. We had a very extreme cut. Oh well, now you're getting even more shuffles. More shuffles is good. I need one more big fat one. There we go. Alright. Here we go. I'm going to do the same kind of cut. And it looks like this. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. And here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for Nikki. Okay, Hierophant. Ooh, okay. This looks like it might be something to do with signing contracts or creating a new order or a new structure in your life where you are formalizing things between yourself and someone or between someone and yourself, where it's almost like you're deliberately looking for an upgrade, like upgrading your life in some way or another. Like this is surrounded. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it looks like you know, circumstantial energy is very favorable for you right now to create some kind of new protocols in life. You know how big places like Google and Microsoft and you know, Dell and HP and all these big tech conglomerates, they're always upgrading their code. And it's like an intellectual property. And Microsoft owns the code for Windows 10. Google owns the code for the algorithm and on YouTube and so on and so on. So this to me looks like you're in a very good time right now. It's a very good time right now for you to, like, because of the Mercury retrogrades, a huge emphasis on the Piscean energy and the big supportive energy of the Capricorn. This is a really good time for you to review, revise, readjust, reprogram, reformat your protocols, your codes of operation, especially if it concerns you and another person, like you in a job, you in a partner, you in a new lifestyle, you in a creating a new order for yourself. Not having a new order imposed upon you, but where you tap into the collective energies around you and use that as a way to upgrade your life, where you it's almost like you write out like a mission statement. You write out the 10 things that we're going to do. Hi, I'm Nikki. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is why I do it, this is where I do it, this is who I do it with, this is when I do it, and so on and so on. And it has purpose and meaning, okay? I think that's important right now. Like maybe like recalibrating your life, completely recalibrating your priorities, like what's really most important to you now, and making a list, like make a list of things like, I don't know, love, relationship, money, career, stability, location, and then having a good look at that, and then prioritizing that into like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? That's what it looks like to me from here. Like, it's time to prioritize. What's the situation? Okay, team effort here with the Three of Pentacles. It feels to me it's almost like you're looking at your life about how can I team up with someone or people or a job or a situation that's good for me and I'm good for them, and it's mutually beneficial, where your talents and gifts and resources are highly appreciated by someone or something that appreciates you, and you end up being in an environment where you can offer your best skills, talents, and resources, and you appreciate them for appreciating you. So it's like a mutual respect thing. It's like the pooling of resources under like understanding like, well, I'm Nikki and I have so much that I can do already, but it would actually work much better if I do this with you and you do this with me, and then we can build something better from here. Whatever that might be. You can figure that out for yourself, all right, Nikki? Now, what are the problems here? Okay, is this love? Is this real? Is this true? Is this genuine? Is this something I can trust? Is it really my turn? Is it my right? Am I really truly blessed with the healing power of love coming into my life from up above? And of course, if there's a deep fear of this, that would be understandable, because the healing power of love is in some ways the most transformational energy on earth. Opening the gateway to love, opening the gateway to the healing power of love, asking for the healing power of love to come into your life from up above is one thing. And then accepting it when it arrives, that's a whole other matter. Okay? Because this is a card of sacred opportunity. It's almost like, oh my God, what did I wish for? I wished for this and now I've got it. Holy shit. What the bleep was I thinking? Oh my God. Okay. So with the Ace of Cups here, hold on, I just saw something on the screen. So true, working well with the new team at work, and it's working. Okay, well, that's good. But it's like, okay, so with the Ace of Cups, there could be like maybe a little bit of a fear, like it's almost too good. Like, am I going to lose all the good stuff? And also, what about love in my life? Okay, it might be great for work and money, but what about love? What about love? Am I ever going to love? Am I ever going to be loved? Am I ever going to be like in the flow at such a complete sense? And sometimes like work, like you put the word work over there, it can be very fulfilling. Like when I do these shows, Nikki, this is very fulfilling for me, very rewarding for me. I feel like I'm in my element. And I get really, really heartbroken and terrified when I feel that it doesn't work or I'm losing it. As you know, you've seen, you've seen what I'm like when I'm at my worst, when I'm very, very sick from having given so much and done so much to the point of depletion and then basically losing it all for reasons that are out of my control. It's very, very heartbreaking. So it feels to me like there's a bit of fear inside of you that once you've been exposed to the good stuff in life, the fear of losing it becomes terrifying. Let's see, how do we do that? How do we deal with it? Okay, at least for the time being, let's just celebrate. Okay, let's just keep it really, really simple. Let's just celebrate the good stuff, celebrate the flow, celebrate the love. Perhaps like it's very simple, like you, Nikki, you're very, very loving. And now you're realizing what it's like to be loved. Sometimes it's very terrifying to be loved. Some people can't handle it. It's like, oh, go away from me. You're suffocating me. You're spoiling me. I don't deserve love. Sometimes it's very hard. Like when you ask for the healing power of love to come into your life from up above, and then you get it. It's absolutely terrifying because it tends to act as a transformational energy healer. Love is like a healing balm. Love is like almost the same word as healing. To love is to heal thyself. To love thyself is to heal thyself. To love another is to heal another. To be loved by another is to be healed by another. Sometimes it's so terrifying because we get so identified with our pain and our suffering and our impediments that when the healing starts to happen, we hold on to those things because we're so terrified of having to reveal it to heal it because we don't know what's on the other side. The fear of the unknown is so powerful in some people that they would rather stay in the world of the unknown no matter how much pain or suffering or loss, rather than face into the unknown, into the world of reveal it to heal it, where the love can flow. So this is basically saying, screw that, just celebrate, just do it. Have a good time. In other words, it's almost like it's time for an office party. It's time to invite your friends out. It's time for you to be with your buddies, perhaps a loved one, between yourself and a loved one and yourself, and celebrate the love that is flowing in your life and be grateful for it. Like, you know what? A lot of people on the planet don't have this in their lives and they never ever will. Like at this moment in time, I think it's really important, Nikki, to acknowledge that in some ways you're very deeply blessed and you are loving and that you are loved. And that can be quite a frightening thing sometimes. And all I'm suggesting here is to, in a very gentle way, just accept it and understand that you deserve this, and you've probably built it and you've set it as a priority in your life, and now it's happening. So it's time to celebrate. It's literally time to, okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm taking it down to a very, very simple thing. Like schedule a night out with your buddies. Like like I said, like an office party, or schedule a night out or a romantic weekend with your loved ones and things like that. Something like that. And just enjoy it. Simply, splurge a little bit. Do the healing spa treatment. Have a nice dinner. Pay for somebody to feed you and cook for you and clean up everything for you like you would do at a really nice restaurant. And then just enjoy it. Enjoy the bounty here of having created love and abundance in your life. Look at that. The threes are very, very supportive here. This is very harmonious. I think this is a very harmonious reading, and it might be almost so harmonious it's almost like I don't deserve this. But you do. That's the thing, Nikki. You do. You deserve this. Okay? You don't have to be scared of it. Yeah, it can be very scary at this level, at this volume, with this intensity, with this moment right now. But you deserve it. So don't be scared. Okay? Don't be scared. This is love, pure love, coming at you from up above. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Nikki. Just going to check in. Okay. Look what Jeffrey just said. I cannot handle being loved. I know, it's a weird phenomenon, isn't it? Like when love actually comes at you and it's genuine, it's the real thing, it could be so terrifying. It's like, no, you can't do that. Like, I don't deserve it, because it's just like, ugh. It exposes it. It opens up the heart. It opens up the heart chakra, all the heart energy. And sometimes there's a lot of pain and suffering that's buried here. And when you open the heart, it's just like, oh no. And so people shut it down, and then they mask it all, and they cover it up, with things like retail therapy, or being like a workaholic or a careeraholic or a something-aholic. Anything to avoid having to open up to love and to be loved. Okay? So, yeah, don't be scared. It's there and you deserve it. You've worked for it. You've literally worked for it. I know, Nikki, that spiritual laziness is not allowed in your life. I already know that because I know you in this way, okay? To truly love and be loved can be a terrifying experience. You have to kind of ease into it a little bit gently. Otherwise it can be overwhelming and it can blow you up. You can literally just blow up and then, you know, it's lost. Anyway, let's get back to the stage. We've got more to do. Alright, Path, you're up. Whoa! What's going to come up in your reading? What's in your reading, Path? It's funny, Path Traveler literally is a Path Traveler. They're like a dedicated, someone who is dedicated to being on path and to make the journey constantly every day facing into the unknown. That is the Path Traveler. It takes a lot of courage to do that. After Path, we're going to do a group reading, okay? If there's anyone out there still remaining who wants a reading, I can put one more here. Just letting you know, it's done through the SuperChat. Hey, Path, it's best to just go completely blind right now. Like what people do, like, when best friends go out and hang out in a bar or something, and they drift on all sorts of subjects and topics, and then you touch something like a nerve. It was almost like, oh my God, I was thinking about that the other day. Or, oh my God, you know so-and-so? I know that so-and-so too. Where did you meet? Please allow for big spontaneity, synchronicity. Please allow for that. As you know, Path, as you know very well, there's a massive alignment of Capricorn energies right now. It's affecting the whole planet on a global scale. I see the big coronavirus thing mixed with the Pisces energy as a classic flip side expression. I also see the amazing wonders of the world as the other flip side of the same energies expressing in the healthy, positive ways. So in other words, as much joy and wonder and love that flows across the planet now on a universal scale, because that does happen, the flip side is that humanity is realizing we are our own worst enemy. Within a matter of days and weeks, we can pollute the whole planet with a virus that never existed before, and everybody becomes exposed. Okay? So it's the same energy. One is just the flip of the other. I'm trying to stay neutral so I can be aware of the flip side shadow expressions of these energies, which are very powerful, and also let's say the spiritual and evolutionary benefits of these energies, which are also very powerful. So it's up to you making a decision. Decision making is profoundly important to the process of evolution. You evolve, grow, and adapt, or you wither. When you evolve, grow, and adapt, you blossom. I got that from Love Triber. Thank you, Love Triber. I see that tail. It says, I'm just going with the glow. Maybe you meant to say flow, but I like glow. I think glow is just fine. Hey, Gregory. Greetings, sir. Hey, everybody. Gregory's here. All right, Path. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I've been ranting a lot lately. I think it's this Capricorn thing. The Capricorn Pisces thing, I know it's very significant for me with my own personal astrology. So I am being, I'm trying to be as aware about it all as I am when I'm helping other people through readings. Okay? All right, Pop, let's see what's going on. I'm choosing to stay super optimistic. Sorry, got it right. Misopoptic. Tiptomasic. Oh, Gregory, I just saw a big orange light flash on my screen. Hold on. I'll put that over here. We'll do this one. There you go. And the balance I will put over there towards the group reading, because that's big. It takes a lot of resources. So I'm going to put Gregory over here as part of the group reading donations. Thank you very much. Okay, my decaf is finished. I'm going to switch to water. All right, let's have a look. What's going on? This is so cool. I've never really dared to do any ranting before. It's just the last couple of days I really just felt it. Like, you know what? What have I got to lose? The channel is almost invisible anymore. Oh, by the way, hold on. Hey, guess what? You know, Lena, she's a wonderful supporter of the channel. She contacted me the other day, and she said, hey TL, guess what? There's another really good tarot channel out there, just like yours. It's a guy, and his whole channel is just going just like your channel, and he can't control it. And so he's doing things like with SuperChat and PayPal to try and salvage what he can. As some of you have realized, I don't even put up any monthly reports anymore. The time and money equation, it's just not working. I can't operate through the YouTube algorithm anymore, so I don't. So I wish all the other channels who are suffering, I wish you all the best. Okay? Anyway, there you go. So Tarot Lumination is not the only channel that is dying because of the algorithm. Alright, here we go. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I just thought of something. You know, talking about the rant. Let me go on a little quick rant here. I'm using this as a way to justify and explain and immunize myself so I don't get bitter and resentful. You know how when we look at the Pisces energy, the Neptune energy, the 12th house energy, it's sometimes considered like the house of self-undoing, the house of hidden enemies, the house of like poison, mold, viruses, toxins, imprisonment, hospitalization, insanity, suicide, ostracized, being swept away in alcoholism, self-destructive, all these sort of like drugged out hazes. That's the flip side of Neptune energy. It's very, very hard to understand. So hear me out, okay? It's been building up for a while through the collective, but when I look at YouTube and their new algorithms right now that they have, they were like the hidden enemy for me. And now, to me, it's out in the open. It's out in the open now. I understand it, so I'm not taking it personally. It's just there's this massive organism out there, and it's mutating and mutating and mutating in such a way that is very, very, very poisonous for Tarot Lumination. And it's no longer the hidden enemy for me. It's out there, because I'm not the only one suffering anymore. I've been hearing other stories being told to me about all the other channels who've been like infected by an invisible algorithm that makes people wonder, like, am I going insane? I'm working harder and harder and harder, and things are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not you. It's the algorithm. Okay? So there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you for understanding. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going 3D. As you can tell, I'm moving farther and farther and farther away from YouTube, and I'm getting much more immersed in a three-dimensional way of life, way of living. And that's very different. I'll probably find a way. I mean, look at it this way. The channel is being scrubbed systematically, losing subscribers. I mean, I'm not doing anything. It should be growing, but it's actually dying. And it doesn't matter how much work I do. It's basically like a disease thing. It's a disease algorithm. So I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to let it all die out, and that'll be the end of it. Okay. Hold on. What's this? Look at that. Nikki just said, "Hey, Pat, me and you and Jeffrey are taking a trip to Vegas, end of April. Get ready, girl." All right. It sounds like it's party time. I think I'm going to have to play that song again, people. Oh my God, just imagine a whole bunch of you guys converging on Vegas. That would be so funny. Just imagine. I mean, just imagine. You could probably get some of these like bargain airfares or whatever. Oh my God, please. Please, everybody keep me posted. If there is a Las Vegas convention for Terra Lumination Love Tribers, I want to know about it. And if I can handle it, I want to go too. All right, stay there. Hold on. Nikki wants Nikki wants time to play. It's playtime. Nikki wants to have fun. Nikki wants to have fun. Okay, that's understandable. I thought you wanted me to play some music. I'm not going to play any live music today. I'll play a little song later. All right. So let's go to work. All right, Beth, I'm back. Here we go. I can't remember. I'm going to shuffle it again and cut it again because I got carried away there, so I can't remember. But the more we shuffle, the cleaner it gets. So don't worry. Okay? Okay, here we go. All right, deck is shuffled. Okay, Path. I don't know if you're doing it right now, but if you feel inclined to make sure that Falcon and Scamp are close by, we're gonna have some fun. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's gonna show up here. What kind of hidden messages are coming to the surface now? What's the situation? What are the challenges with all of this, and how are we going to deal with it? Let's have a look at the surrounding weather. What's going on? So, uh-oh. Oh my gosh, this looks like a party time. Like, I think this card might be picking up on the energy of the channel right now, where for you, Path, I don't know if you are the instigator or whoever it was who started this conversation about some love tribers having a gathering, like a gathering of the clan, a gathering of the tribes. It might be a really good idea. Sometimes the best thing to do is to celebrate. In other words, switch off the computers, call into work sick, tell them I'm taking a day off or a long weekend. And you just do fun stuff. You spend money, you do goofy things, you drive around, you have little mini parties. To me, this feels like a whole sequence of little miniature, let's do that, let's do that, and then let's do that, and then let's do that, and let's do that, and then we'll do some of that, and that. And that all becomes like the vibration of like being with people on your wavelength who want to have fun with you, and you want to have fun with them. Let's have a look. What's the situation exactly here? Okay, because you deserve it. Look at all this. So, dear Path, to me this looks like a attitude of gratitude reading, and it's right in your face where the Ten of Pentacles here is just literally, to me this looks like a huge love hug from the planet and the world around you, where you have every right and reason and duty to tap into your abundance, enjoy your abundance, the abundance of being like someone who is abundant. Like abundant is your like default setting, where it may not be in the traditional sense, but think of the beautiful home, think of Falcon, think of Scamp, think of all your buddies at Terra Lumination. That's like, you can't put a price on that. That's like legacy wealth. That you take that with you when you die. All of it. You can this is the love you own, the one that you worked for, the one that you can share with everybody. So it almost feels like, it's almost like, to me this feels like ambassador type of energy, where right now the situation is about basking in your wealth, enjoying your wealth and sharing your wealth, and others sharing their wealth and abundance with you. Wow. Whew. This might be very closely related to the chat you guys were having on the screen. That's crazy. Okay, what's the problem here? What's the fear here? Okay. So with the World card here, like, to me there's an issue like let's look at the flip side of this. Like, well, like, where's mine? When am I going to get all this? When am I going to get all that wealth and abundance that I deserve? Because the thing is that, Path, you probably deserve even more than you have already. And so when I see the World here, to me it feels like there's this like deep fear that you could lose all this, and that it is constantly at risk. So why ever take a risk? Why would I ever go and share all my wealth and abundance in ways that are even bigger and broader than already? Because I might lose it all, and then I'd have to start from scratch again. I don't know if this has anything to do with Las Vegas, but it's almost like you have to me it almost feels like a deep fear of wasting time and energy and resources on frivolous things. And then the fear of having to start all over again from scratch. And also, on a larger scale, let's make this a bit bigger than just hanging out with friends and having a super good time and sharing your wealth with others, and others sharing their wealth with you. When I see the World here, my feeling is that deep down there's a part of you which feels like life as you know it is changing forever, and it's going to change forever, and there's no going back. But there's also this deep fear of like the future. What does that hold? Because it's almost like there's nothing to hold on to except the things that you know already. So you have the wealth and abundance, but like, what's next? What's next? Like, what's happening now? What now? What now? What now? It's just like the movie of your life at this point has just finished, and there's a new movie starting. Like, The Path Traveler 2, Path Traveler 3. Like, if you think of it like episodic series, like on Netflix or something, you've just lived through a big chapter, and a big new chapter is beginning. This might be very closely associated with the Capricorn energies that are happening right now, where over the period of this year, there's a chance that you'll see your life in a very new and different way than before, but you don't know what it is yet. And so there's a deep fear of losing the status quo, and a deep fear of the unknown, and it's happening simultaneously. How do we deal with that? Okay, you let it happen. You literally reveal it to heal it. You allow... that sometimes, have you ever done that with me, Path, where we do that little invocation? Please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine. Hold on, let me do it with you. So Path, because maybe a year or two ago when we were doing much more active Tarot Illumination, and we had First Fridays, and I was sharing a lot of my self-healing modalities and processes. What I'm seeing here with the Tower card is that the way to move forward, to tap into your abundance, to tap into the joy, to stay in the joy, because you're naturally that way anyway. You already operate at really high frequencies, and it's part of the work that you do in life, like all those pentacles, is investing in happiness, like planting your seeds in fertile ground, and only fertile ground, and growing your wealth, growing your abundance, growing your happiness in a way that makes full, measurable, logical sense. But there's a deep fear that it could all be lost, it could all be gone, And then what do we do now? So when I see the Tower here, to me it feels like it's a time for an invocation. It's something like this, like, dear angels, dear invisible friends, dear guardians, dear archangels, all the amazing, source energy that we can't necessarily see directly, but we know it here, we know it deep in our pituitary gland. It's like, when I see the Tower card, it's literally like bring it on energy, like, please bring to me that which is mine. Please bring to me the abundance that is mine, the challenges, the responsibilities that are mine, so I can live the richest, fullest life possible. Please take away from me that which is not mine, someone else's business, someone else's problems. I don't need them, they're not mine. Please help me to recognize the difference and let go of all of that stuff so I can live in full abundance. Please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine. That's what I'm seeing with the Tower card. It's bring it on. Let everything fall apart that needs to fall apart. The Tower card is in some ways one of the most healing, powerful messages in the whole deck. That's how I look at it. So, in other words, it's like in a very gentle way, in a very prayerful way, please bring it on everything that's not good for me, that I need to handle. Please bring to me the abundance that's good for me that I need to accept. Please allow the crappy, horrible things that need to happen. Let them happen so that everything can fall apart and turn into fertilizer, and turn that fertilizer into new growth. It's just like over here in New Zealand, almost all the dairy and the cattle is all it's all on small family farms, and it's all grassland. They don't really have factory farming here. And so what I'm sensing is that it's a very natural process of birth, procreation, and death. Okay? Almost like how, the cow. I mean, this is going to sounds like I'm really going crazy here, Path, but the whole idea is you live your life in abundance. You feed on the abundance around you, like the cows in the pastures here, and then you poop on the land. And that poop is very valuable, and it turns into fertilizer for the next round of growth of grass and so on. And they really play into that stuff here in New Zealand, where they take full advantage of the natural cycles of life, and everything that some people would regard as smelly waste product can be very valuable nutrition for the new growth, the new transformational thing. So bring it on, okay? But I think the way to handle it, if there's any deep fear going on inside of you, Path, where everything could fall apart and you might lose out on the joy that's yours, don't worry about it. Ask for it. Ask for it. It's like an invocation, like what we were talking about. Please bring to me that which is mine. All the good stuff. Please take away from me that which is not mine. All the stuff that you don't need. It's not yours. It's not your business. It's not your problem. And then deal with what you've got Whatever remains after that, that's new growth, new starts, new beginnings. You've got to reveal it to heal it with this card. So it's a very powerful card for healing. Bring on the healing. All right? So I hope that helps you, Path, in some ways. I think of it as a lot here to do with personal wealth, personal abundance, what to do with that, what does it mean, how do you define that, what does it look like going forward. The way to mature and grow and evolve is to ask for it, like dear evolutionary energies, please come into my life right now so I can surf those waves and ride them, okay? So you can make the best of your life like you already do. But we're taking it to the next level now. That's really what this is about. Taking your wealth and happiness and abundance and taking it to the next level. So I see this as quite a joyful reading. It's actually kind of a profound, powerful reading. It needs a little bit of digestion. Don't be scared of that tower. It's very beautiful energy. All right, Gregory. Da-da-da-da. Woo! Okay. All right, let's have a look. Hey, welcome. I see Mystic Alchemy is here. Greetings. You sound like a little bit of a reader yourself. Mystic Alchemy. It sounds like you might be an astrologer or a tarot reader or an energy healer of some kind. Anyway, here we go. Gregory, you're up. After Gregory, we've got a group reading. Don't forget. Again, Gregory, I'm going to go completely blind here. If you've got something, if you're looking for a particular theme, I'll just kind of do this. What kind of messages do the cards have for me today regarding the matter of ... And you can fill in the blanks with a word like finance, home, love, a relationship, my family, my spiritual evolution, my finances, my health, whatever it could be. Okay? If you've got one or two, if you've got a single word or one or two words, don't write a big story about what's going on. Just like a keyword. That's all I need. Work, 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 work. Okay, work, 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 work. We're going to look at work, 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 work. Okay. No worries. Aha, look at that. Mystic Alchemy is a healer. There you go. Told you. Told you. Okay, Gregory, like when I did with one of the earlier readings today, I think you arrived a little bit later. Imagine you're like where we're out at some kind of hippie festival somewhere. Maybe up in Oregon or, in Taos or something, like a spiritual fair. Or maybe one of Nikki's fairs back on the East Coast or something. And you get to sit at the table. This is the little Tarot Lumination table. And, there's magic crystals here. And there's incense over here. And there's beautiful surroundings and artifacts that inspire spiritual ascension. And I'm wearing, I've got long hair, and I've got a bandana, and I've got a kind of a Jesus beard, and I'm wearing like really cool hippie gear. Okay? I mean, we don't have to do it like that. You could do it corporate style. If you want to, you could think of me as a corporate, like a consultant, and I've got, a necktie, like one of those, you've seen them in movies, like the psychiatrist with the long chair in a very posh office with lots of mahogany hardwood surroundings and fittings, and I have a shirt and a tie, and shiny professional shoes. Gregory, my office and housing. Okay, my office and housing. Got it. Let's have a look. The situation regarding Gregory's office and housing. Let's have a look. Let's get really specific here. What messages do we have today for Gregory regarding office and housing? Don't look at that. I'm just good to make sure it's up the right way. I'm going to shuffle some more. As much as there are some very scary things happening across the planet right now with, currency wars and borders shutting down and the virus going everywhere, there's some also extremely beautiful things happening with the Capricorn, the Pisces, and the Taurus energies. Okay? It's very nutritious, wholesome stuff. So don't forget that, all right? We need to tune into it and take full advantage. I'm doing a very even, balanced split here. Okay, Gregory? What's the situation regarding office and housing? What are the problems here? How are we going to handle it? And what's the circumstantial energy like? We're going to look at this from the planetary aspects. Okay. So when I see the Four of Pentacles in a situation like this, do not rush anything. I always think the Four of Pentacles is a really powerful card in terms of structure and building, like creating, building a castle, building a moat, building a secured, stable environment in which you can conduct life and business. So, I feel that this is very, very appropriate to your reading right now. To me, it looks like it's very important that you take this very seriously right now regarding office and housing, but don't make any decisions yet, because we got the big Mercury retrograde still happening right now, and it makes it very, very hard, especially because it's in Pisces, along with the Sun and Neptune, Mercury, and it was the new moon recently. The last thing to do right now is make any binding decisions. Do not sign any contracts with housing, office, all that kind of stuff. Much more important to just review, refine, recalibrate, investigate, study, all those things, and don't make any decisions yet. Hold on to what you've got right now that already works. Understand the value of something that works. Understand the value of stability. Stability is very, very important going forward, creating stability for the long term, okay? All right, what's the situation regarding office and housing? Okay, it looks like you want to release yourself from a binding situation so that you can move on. Okay, that's what it looks like here with Judgment, like liberation, like you might be extremely frustrated with the current circumstances and that you're looking for liberation, freedom, and being unshackled so that you can it's like redemption, be redeemed, be born again, start from scratch, start from new. Now you might have been feeling this since the Pisces new moon, especially. You might be feeling very strongly about this right now. But there's a double message here. Do not mess with the stability that you do have, but instead look at your resources is how can you repurpose your resources for new structures, new housing, new office, somewhere, somehow, new locations, so that you are liberated and you can have new starts and new beginnings. I think the timing is going to be very important, so I would recommend that you watch the calendar throughout this year, especially the eclipses, and make decisions in very, very, let's say, thoughtful, conscientious ways. Timing, I think, is really important. And To me, it looks like there's a lot of pressure on you. Not on you, but from inside of you, that you really want to change. You want to change and that you deserve a change. And you already know from common sense that you don't want to risk losing what you have. On the other hand, there's a very strong energy here that it's time to create new foundations. Something that's more substantial and more under your control. It also looks like not getting into too much debt, but more about working with what you've got, working within your resources. Okay, now what are the challenges here? Okay, so this is a big card to have here. My feeling is that it's almost like the fear that you don't deserve this, the fear that you might be driven by fear, and that there's no logical reason to change or grow and evolve and adapt to your surroundings, where it's almost like these are kind of, I mean, they're beautiful cards in their own right. I don't know if you can see the complementary energies going on here, but it's like, to me it feels like it's almost like you're scared of going through the process of what it takes to liberate yourself and have new starts and new beginnings, to create new foundations, because it puts so much pressure on your existing resources. And it's like there's a deep, to me it looks like there's a deep, deep fear of undermining the stability of what you have, and putting all that at risk in order to liberate yourself and feel free. On the other hand, if you don't, it feels to me like if you don't give yourself permission to liberate yourself and restructure everything, repurpose everything, reallocate your finances and locations in different ways, then you're actually harming yourself. You're doing the opposite of self-healing. You're actually self-harming, okay? And you might feel a bit paralyzed at the moment with this, like almost like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. In other words, if I do liberate myself, that's what I want, that's what I'm yearning for, I could put a lot of risk. If I don't liberate myself, I'm not living my path. And so it's like, it's a very, very difficult balancing act, and it's almost like there's a deep fear of liberating yourself because you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to be harmed. On the other hand, it's like it's almost like it's self-harm if you continue to stay in offices and housing and situations that go against your desire for liberation, redemption, freedom, and being reborn, creating a whole new identity. So how are we going to deal with it? This looks like it's a very deep energy that's really simmering, almost like a distillation, or like cheese, how it takes a long time to ferment really good cheeses. To me, this is coming up to the point where it's ripe. Things are ripe now to start to face this situation where at some point you're going to have to call it out. You're going to have to call yourself out here and risk and take some kind of bold risk. How do we do this? Okay, so with the Two of Cups here, I don't know if you're being drawn to a particular place or situation because of a particular person or a particular reason. I'm thinking this is much more to do with you personally. Like, it's almost like what do they call it? What's that expression when you downsizing? Okay, to me it feels like let's pretend I'm you and I'm coming to this meeting. It's almost like you're looking at me with a very, very sincere kind of expression, like gosh, TL, really? I know what you're talking about here, but it's so simple. All I want I want something that is very simple, very pure, and what works. I don't have to have the biggest, flashiest place. I don't have to have the most expensive location. I just want what works. I want something where I can feel in harmony with myself and others can feel in harmony with me. For example, if you have an office where people actually have to come and see you, it would have to be, it would have to have a very sort of pure kind of aura about it, where they can sense that when they're with you, you're in a very, very kind of pure place, and which makes them feel very comfortable. I can trust this person, and vice versa. To me, it feels like it looks like there's a deep yearning for redemption, reconciliation, healing, and then the deep fear that comes with rebirth and repurposing, reallocating your resources for housing and offices. And you know this is happening. You want this to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, but to me it looks like you know it has to happen. Even if it just means, it could be like consolidating, how like downsizing. Maybe the home can be the office, or maybe the office can be the home, or something like that. You know how people have live-in businesses, like the old-fashioned way. You have a little shop, the office is downstairs and the home is upstairs, that kind of thing. But to me, above all, it's just like, keep it really, really simple. It's like the KISS rule. Like, do what your heart tells you. What is the most loving thing you can do with yourself, for yourself right now regarding these matters? And do that, just one tiny little step at a time, and don't try to make the big leap all at once. To me, it looks like, this looks like, do yourself a favor, Gregory. Please do yourself a favor. Be extremely kind to yourself. Almost like, be your own best friend. Counsel with yourself and tell them, what would you do, Gregory? Well, Gregory, I would do this. And keep it simple, like, are you fed up with your place right now? Yes. Okay, then we have to consider leaving. Are you sick of your office right now, or do you want to upgrade or repurpose things right now? Yes. Okay, well then let's do that. You keep it very simple, and you love thyself, and it's almost like you dissolve the fear, okay? You dissolve the fear of liberation, the fear of wanting to change and grow and be liberated, and the fear of putting so much at risk. You dissolve it by coming at it in a very pure, innocent manner, and then allowing the good things to happen. But you do it in a very tiny little ways, just very, very gentle ways. Like every morning, you do something that takes you further and further along the line of finally, ultimately, liberation. Like if it means you literally have to move, move house, move office, and you can't do it all at once, at least you start the process and you start to plant seeds to start heading that way. Like, well, what do I have to do? That means, start shopping, go online, look at real estate, commercial real estate, look at new offices. And what triggers your heart? Like, ooh, I like to look at that one. Can I afford it? No. So let's try something else. Maybe something that's really simple, much keep it well within your budget, and downsize and do something very pure and simple, and concentrate on making it like a very low maintenance lifestyle, so that you can really enjoy the office home housing environment. You know how a lot of people want to upgrade, they want to borrow more, spend more. To me, this looks like going in the opposite direction. Downsize, keep things very simple, very, very pure. Whatever that might look like. A new town, a new location, and do it with love in the heart, okay? And don't be scared. I think it looks like it's inevitable that change has to happen, but don't put yourself at too much risk, okay? Okay? Yeah. So I do see it very strongly here for you, Gregory. It's like it's time to unshackle yourself. Yes, it's scary. You could put a lot at risk, but you're not going to. You're too smart for that. You do things in a very pure way. Okay? Well, what would make you happy? Okay? If it means like, all I want is a little blah, blah, blah in so-and-so location, then that's what you do. You start aiming for that so you have a much higher degree of ownership and stability. Maybe you don't need the biggest, poshest office. Maybe you don't need the biggest, poshest house. Maybe something very, very, very pure and simple where there's very little, in terms of overheads, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to shuffle this all up, and then we're going to head towards the group reading. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. Oh, keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, silly. It's almost like do what turns you on. Do what makes you happy at the core level, trusting in your deepest core soul energy that you want healing. Because if you don't do this, it's self-harm. I'm just going to clean this up and then we're going to go to the group reading. Thanks to Nikki. Thanks to Gregory. One of the messages for there, Gregory, might be like, please don't take on any unnecessary debts or mortgages or anything that deep down are not really maybe good for you, and instead work with resources that you have already and taking on the least amount of debt possible. Staying well within a budget. Hold on, let me just go over here. Just check in with everybody. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Like, in a way, I'm trying to learn how to simplify, reduce and simplify. Reduce, simplify, distill. Distill the life to get down to the essence of what really, really counts. And that's having a very loving, peaceful, calm core at the center where you can feel love moving through your body, coming in, and that gives you a sense of joy that you can share that love. Okay? And sometimes that means having, when we are heavily burdened with the physicalities of life, I gotta have the best car, I gotta have the biggest house and everything, that can end up being a very heavy weight. And so, have you heard that thing? Hey, Jeffrey, you're a money guy, right? You understand a lot about money. And Gregory is very involved in business. I heard this thing the other day. I was watching things on the gold markets and silver markets. I saw this really cool thing. And to me it resonated. What is money? They were talking about what is money, okay? And it's basically a gold channel. So obviously they're into gold. And the way they described it is this. At the top, money. Sorry, let me start it again. At the very, very top, gold is the money of kings and queens. Silver is the money of gentlemen. Cash is the money of the worker. Debt is the money of the slave. Does that make any sense? when I heard that, I thought, wow, that is so cool. Personally, I'm attracted to gold. I don't really own much. I used to own a tiny little gold bar, and I gave it to someone as a gift because I cared for them and I wanted to plant a seed of wealth into their life. It was actually a tiny little piece of gold bullion. It was beautiful. Anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking it's almost the same thing with you, Gregory. Like, what really, 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 really counts? I'm not saying go buy gold. I'm not saying go buy silver. I'm not saying stash your cash. But what I am suggesting is please be aware of the burdens of debt. I call it debt slavery. Okay? You don't need that right now. Sometimes it's better to downsize rather than take on more debt to grow. Okay? I'm going to say it again because I love saying it. Gold is the money of kings. Silver is the money of gentlemen. Cash is the money of the merchant and the worker. Debt is the money of slaves. So there you go. I just said it because that sounds cool. All right. All right. All right, so there we go. Yeah. It's interesting. We got two guys here today. You know, it's such a tiny crowd. We've got only 10 people, but two of them are guys. That's really cool. Alson, I think Alson was here earlier. That would have been 3. All right, people, this is the big one. I need a beverage. In fact, I think I'm going to play a little tune. I'm going to play a little tune. Give me a second here. I had the tune in my head and I have to find it on my files, and I'll come back with it in just a second. I'm just trying to remember what the heck it is. Hold on. It'll be right there. What the heck is it? Hold on, I'm going to have to check my files. This is ridiculous. Oh man, I can't remember. Oh. It's a long song. I hope you don't mind. Hold on. Let's have a look. Hold on. No, I'm not going to play that song. I just need a little bit of a break. I can't remember the song I wanted to play. So I'm just going to give something to tide us over. I hope you don't mind. All right, so give me a second. I just want to hang out some more with you guys. So, I just need to, give me a second. Okay, so, it's been a pleasure. We're going to be wrapping up here in a while. We've already been going, heading on to 3 hours, and that's enough for anybody. I want to raise my glass to all of you. This is one of my little precious beverages. So, I needed that. It's like medicine. It's healing medicine. It's a healing balm. Alright, so Nikki wants me to play Hey Oh. Yes! Okay, this might be a way to cheer yourself up. So, for the guys, this is what I would recommend. Okay? Put yourself in your own digital imaginary drag outfit. Hang out with the ladies. This is what I do. And we're going to dance around the campfire. And you can put yourself inside the vibe of girl power and know what it's like. Because I wrote this song from a deep understanding of like the feminine nature of a particular person. And it allowed me to like live their journey. So I feel like I told the story with great authenticity. The thing is, I'm not a girl, so I actually hired a really good singer to sing this for me. But it's actually a Terror Lumination song, so all I'm suggesting, come on guys, it's time to put on your frilly wigs, put on your high heels, put on your, you could do however you want. Anyway, it's just a way to have silly, wacky fun. Maybe I'll write a song where I'll get all the girls to dress up as guys. How about that? So I'm going to play the song because Nikki asked for it. It's called Hey Yo. I know Nikki likes to dance and have a lot of fun. Okay, it goes like this.
It was one of those days where everything goes wrong. My hair fell out, my heel broke off, I slept through my alarm. I missed the bus to night school, my stalker walked me home. I sprayed his face with mace and then he left me all alone. Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. Hey, there's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. A lot of my relationships, they end up in the ditch. So I'm getting counseling for being an uncontrollable bitch. The doctor's pills he gave me
you go. That was pretty good. I never get old. That one never gets old for me. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, goodness. I'm feeling all kind of sentimental now. I feel like I wish we could all actually have a real life gathering here. We could all go out to the big picnic table, put on the big fire, cook up a ton of food, have our favorite beverages, and put on the boombox outside and just go dancing around. You know, you can have like a buffet dinner, you know, and you could have, you know how they do it like big barbecues and stuff? You don't actually have a set dinner time. People just kind of dive in, and then they fill up their plates, and then they do stuff. They hang out with their buddies, and they go dancing around the campfire, and then they go back and nibble, and then they go back again, and then they have their beverages, and then they go back to the campfire, and everything is happening all at the same time. You know, there's people dancing over there, people drinking over there, there's people eating over there, there's people relaxing over there, and it all happens at once. You know. Oh, Nikki, I'll be back by the end of next week. There we go. Yep. I'm very kind of queasy in my tummy about all this. Anyway, it's time to get to work, people. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for being here. Okay, this is the big one. We're going to do a big group reading. And I'm going to use the heart spread. And some of you know about this spread and this reading because we've done it before. I'm reading this from the perspective of the collective. Okay? Like tribal energy, collective energy, and how we're all swirling, you know, how, you know, like when you look at a tree and it's windy weather, you see all the leaves blowing this way or all blowing that way. That's kind of how I'm reading this right now. I'm not talking about anyone here as individuals. I'm talking about the energy, okay? Montana. Nikki wants me to go to Montana. Actually, you know what? This is going to sound really crazy, but I did something the other day. I was, you know, playing with one of those real estate shopping sites, and I got the wrong link to the wrong place at the wrong time, but it ended up showing me a place in, I think it was Montana or Minnesota, way up there. And it turned out to be a very small town near a lake. I think it was the Land of Lakes, which I think is Minnesota. And it was this big, beautiful colonial home. And it was like $123,000. We could have had like 10 bedrooms. You could have a whole community there. It's just you have to be able to put up with really, really cold winters, you know, and very hot summers with a lot of mosquitoes. Thank you for buying that album, Gregory. I was going to say album, Gregory. That's ridiculous. Thank you very much, Gregory, for getting the Terra Lumination album. So we're going to use the Terra Lumination heart spread, and that's the whole idea, is to help all of us to get back to our heart center, so that the head is the servant of the heart rather than the other way around. Because for a lot of people, the heart ends up becoming the servant of the head. That's not allowed on this channel, okay? Sometimes we drift off. It's so easy to drift off and compromise the heart. We're very, very close. Same thing, no reversals, no flyers, all of that. Thank you, everybody, in advance. In case I forget, thank you for your kindness and your generosity over and over and over again. And thank you very much also to Bethany Campbell. I think she went to bed early because it's probably very late for her. That's understandable. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to make this one very nice and even. And we're going to go from here. Okay. So please bear with me if I get a little bit trancy and trippy, but that's kind of what happens. Chat amongst yourselves if you have to. Okay, here we go. The heart needs what it needs, it wants what it wants, and it's hoping that we, our conscious selves, are listening, okay, up in what you would call the brain, the cerebellum, okay? Over here, this is legacy energy. What are we bringing in with us? I'm using the word us like it's a collective energy. What is this thing that we're celebrating, or what is it that terrifies us? What is our history? What is our legacy? And how does that impact us right now? This is the energy of now, the healing power of now, and all our power lies in the now. And the now is all-encompassing. It's almost like you don't even have to talk about past lives or future lifetimes. It's like they're all happening simultaneously. And as human beings, we start to think of it in terms of the past or the future. But from the perspective of Source and Heaven, it's all happening at once. So the power, the secret is here on this planet Earth, is to really tap into the power of now. Which is sometimes really scary to do because it's so much easier to lean on the past or project into the future and just live with the status quo. Not on this channel. If you want to evolve, grow, and adapt and blossom, then you have to be as much in the now as possible. And then in the now, we activate the evolutionary impulses through decision making. The divine art of decision making. The ultimate most difficult decision is to love thyself. And we're going to figure out how to do that. We need to understand the influences here. And so how do we do that once we understand the influences? Okay? This is like the how card. Over here, then we realize we're creating outcomes. One tiny decision at a time. We are creating outcomes. And so it behooves us to make good decisions, plant good seeds. Put the loving frequency into the decision, to love thyself no matter what. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do is to love thyself, to put the gas mask on first, to stop being a compassion junkie, to stop being a people pleaser, to stop being complacent, and instead do the courageous thing, like what now, what now, what now, and be really true and honest. So what happens if we give up on ourselves and we succumb to spiritual laziness? We give up, we lose all this. What happens if we stay in the zone and we make the tough decisions to stay in the now? How do we benefit? And over here, what does that lead us to with the next beat of the heart? I'm, of course, always going to go with the healthy outcome here. So I'm hoping you see this as a heart, okay, as a pulsing thing. And we make decisions a lot of the times almost at the speed of our heartbeats. So typically like, moment by moment, like, oh, do I dig that? Do I not like that? Am I hungry? Am I not hungry? Should I go to the bathroom now? Should I do my chores now? Should I do my finances? Should I check the books? Should I do my homework? Should I do my fitness exercise? Should I do my yoga? Whatever it is, moment by moment by moment. Okay, and all of this is surrounded by, I think of celestial influences. I call it the weather. I think of it as the planets. For this reading, I'm going to take it as the planetary influences. Okay, so we're going to start now. Here we go. Okay. The Knight of Wands is here. To me, this feels like it's like a collective obligation. Like we, as a collective here, you could even call it the little Tarot Lumination Love Tribe. To me, it feels like we have an obligation to move forward with courage in our hearts for ourselves and each other. It's almost, to me, this feels like brothers in arms, brothers and sisters in arms, where we deliberately face into the unknown, we face into the challenges coming towards us, and we collectively say to each other, kind of like if you imagine we link arms, imagine we're all linking arms here, and we commit to ourselves and each other that we are going to move forward fearlessly into the unknown, and we're going to face the unknown, and we're going to make the best of the unknown, knowing that as a collective, as a tribe, as Terra Lumination Love Tribe, if you want to call it, it's our commitment to ourselves as loving sentient beings to love ourselves in such a way that I am going to evolve, I am going to adapt, I am going to grow in order that I can blossom. Now put that as a group. We are going to evolve. We are going to adapt. We are going to grow in order that we do blossom. We are going to do it. It's a teamwork thing. It's like a support group. It's a team effort, arm in arm, linking shoulders. You know how people link arm in arm and they move forward as a collective. We're much stronger as a team than the individuals, than the sum of the individuals, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to just chuck this over here while we go into it. What is the heart telling us at the core? Okay, this feels to me like let's just celebrate who we are and what we have together. Let's just take this moment in time, like a snapshot moment in time, like those little Polaroid pictures, you know, or like a selfie shot with a smartphone. Let's just say you just get out your smartphone and kind of go, hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody, look at me, click. And you just take a picture. And that's us. And that's as the heart is saying, it's time for us to celebrate that we've come so far on this journey together. Terra Illumination has been going for 3 years now, almost exactly to the day. And yeah, the channel is more or less, dead or dying or comatose right now. But while it's still alive, let's celebrate who we are, what we have, and what we have done together. Because it's kind of heroic. I think the heart wants us to understand that each one of us is a hero. Each one of you is a hero. We are heroes. We are heroic. It's time to celebrate. Okay? Let's do that. Raise a glass to ourselves. Okay? Cheers. We are heroes. It's time to acknowledge that as a fact. What are we bringing in with us here? Okay? To me, with the King of Cups here, my feeling is what we have done together as a collective is that we have deliberately, each one of us to the best of our abilities, we have chosen to maintain our sovereignty of self and move forward with dignity, purpose, and mission. And the most important mission is to love thyself no matter what. And it doesn't matter if other people can't handle it. It doesn't matter if the waters are stirred up and turbulent around you, because you are and we are making these profound commitments to love thyself first and foremost. If anyone else has a problem with that, that is their problem. And so I'm thinking here with this group collective arm in arm energy, we can reinforce that with ourselves and each other. Like if everyone else can't handle that, that's their problem. We've got our own thing going on here, and that's just fine. That's all we need. So what about now? Okay, let's just admit it's tough. It's tough to keep these standards. It's very, very hard to set these kind of standards that we have set for ourselves and to maintain these standards, because sometimes it would be so much fun and so much easier to just give up and kind of like, oh, I'd much rather break the bond. I'd much rather get out of this thing that we have here and go back to a much more lower frequency kind of debauched kind of lifestyle where I surrender to the status quo and I'm just going to go along with the masses and I'm going to be enslaved. Like I'm just going to be a debt slave with everyone else. I'm going to, give myself over to being, a human slave to everything else and just give up. Okay? So right now, my feeling is that all of us are sensing like the reality of how hard it is at times to maintain our integrity, to maintain our courage, maintain our commitment to ourselves, and to maintain the dignity. And it's work. It's real work. So I think with the devil energy here on this card, to me it feels like let's admit that we are human. Let's admit that sometimes we can't handle it, and sometimes, like Terra Illumination, I need my little thingies. I need my little treats. But does that stop me? Does that mean I'm not a saint anymore? No. In fact, watch this. Watch this. Another thing I think about the devil card here is that it's okay now and again to indulge in the little things that make us happy. Okay? I'm not a slave to this stuff, but I do love it. And I'm not going to deny myself. So if each one of you, you have your own little thing that you do that you probably think, well, maybe I shouldn't do that, but you do it anyway, then I'm with you. Okay? So watch this. See this little shot glass? I got this to celebrate where I'm living right now. Okay? And now I'm going to celebrate and raise a glass to my life here. Watch this. This is me indulging in the devil card, so the devil card does not own me. I own it. See that? It's precious sacred liquid. You know, I'm not a stoner or anything. I grew out of all that stuff long ago when I was a kid. But to me, this is the nectar of the gods, and I just take it very tiny quantities. So right now, in the moment of now, here we are right now, let's just admit we are strapped and straddled with the fact that we are human. We have all our weaknesses, all our frailties, all our lust, all our desires that we want fulfilled. And yet at the same time, we are very aware that we are not allowing ourselves to be owned by this energy. We own this energy. It does not own us, okay? We are not a slave. None of us are slaves to our primal desires. We own it. We transform this energy and make something good out of it. How do we do that? Because every one of us is constantly, every day, facing the challenge to rise above our raw, instinctive, default humanity settings, like our south node, or our lust, or our desires, or our addictions, or whatever. We rise above. How do we do that? Through decision making. And the decision is, number one, attitude of gratitude. With the Queen of Pentacles here, we make it our business to go to the default setting that we always check in every day with ourselves. Look at this, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, like an alliance here. We create a pact, a bond between ourselves and ourselves. Our masculine self, our feminine selves, like we check in and we commit to ourselves. We're only going to do what works. We're going to be very grateful for who we are, what we've got, how we've got it, and we're going to maintain our highest levels of integrity. Like in the old days, like monarchies, the energies of monarchies, it's very important. You know, some people think like monarchies are over, and in some ways they are. But if you look at the King and Queen of England, the Queen of England, the monarchy is still a very big thing there, and it has an impact all over the world, as some of you might have noticed. And it may be redundant in spiritual terms, but in terms of what we're doing here, I feel that when we make our decisions, we do it in honor and respect of the monarchy of ourselves, our sovereign selves at the highest levels, and we overcome our base instincts to indulge ourselves in our human weaknesses, and instead we impose a higher order upon ourselves deliberately because it's worth it. Because when you do that and you come in with the attitude of gratitude and you you deliberately tune into an awareness, like you make a checklist every day, your gratitude list, and you realize how much you've got, how much work you've put into life to get to be who you are, where you are right now. Let us not forget. Let us not forget. We're going to continue to go forward on the good path because this is what works. Love breeds love, okay? And sometimes it means we have to go against the current, against the status quo, or against our own lustful desires, and instead come from a higher perspective. So how do we do that? Because it's quite hard to do. We do it through the art of decision making. But when I see the Two of Swords here, to me it feels like each one of us needs to become more and more skillful at the art of decision making, and the realization of how hard it is to be who we are, and how much work each of us has put into our lives to be who we are, how we are, where we are, why we are here today, right now. It's through decision making. Because you don't have to be here. You could easily be just getting drunk somewhere, or eating potato chips, or, just being a slob. But no, we're dedicating time and energy here to doing something that we consider is actually worthwhile, because it generates this inside of us. It's just that each one of us here, I believe, has set very high standards for ourselves, and we are not ready, willing, or able to lower those standards and give up on ourselves. And for that to happen, it means we are constantly having to make tough decisions. Really, really tough decisions. I'm not saying that some decisions are easy, but with the Two of Swords here, the way we do this is understand that the phenomenon of decision making is almost fundamental to how well we evolve and grow and adapt. Like, if you are not willing to put in the energy and the work and the time, then that is spiritual laziness. And as soon as you give up on the decision-making process, you're basically telling the universe, you decide for me. And that always goes to the default setting. Okay? So we're creating outcomes. And the outcomes, when we do this is very delicious energy here. When you do this properly, and you look at it as a protocol, you look at it as a process, what happens is you create an environment of sharing and caring, where each one of us can look at each other and realize, wow, I've really benefited from you. Wow, you've really benefited from me. Wow, we've really benefited from each other. Let's celebrate. Okay? Let's turn this into an official celebration, I don't know what that means for some of you, but to me this looks like I have to find a way to keep Tarot Lumination going, at least for a while, so that we can build on this a little bit, and maybe, do one of those things where we celebrate together in person again. And you create good outcomes. You create an environment where, like, who wouldn't want to be there? Like, it's almost like we're deliberately creating a world where people want what we have. People are asking, like, hey, Nikki, hey, Gregory, hey, Path, what are you doing? How do you guys do what you do? I want what you've got. What pills are you taking? What chemicals are you on? What book are you reading? I want that. And you basically look back at them and say, well, just do what we do. And some people would say, wait a minute, that's too hard. And then you say, okay, well, that's your choice. If you don't want to do the work, if you don't want to get into the energy of, the divine art of decision making, that's your choice. That's a decision. But we choose to do it, and look what we get. Thank you very much. Wow. In other words, we are creating our good fortune decision by decision. It's like we're creating it by deliberately choosing to, face our fears and go into it, and how we benefit. Now, what happens if we slip? Okay, because this is a very, it's a lovely reading in its own way, but it's actually very hard to do this stuff. Okay, let's not deny it. Okay, it's very hard to do this. So what happens if we suffer from a period of spiritual laziness and we just say, I can't take it anymore. I'd just rather get stoned or drunk or quit my job or become a derelict because I just don't care anymore. Okay? You lose power, you lose all your strength. On the other hand, when you maintain the standards that we have set for ourselves, what we're doing is we're constantly outgrowing ourselves. We're constantly evolving, growing, adapting, and blossoming to go from our carnal lusts and the physicalities of human life and all the challenges of human life where, like television, for example, it always has a solution for all your problems. Oh, are you bored at work? Go take a vacation. Put all your money on credit cards and take a vacation, okay? And that just gets you into more debt. And so you're living in the trap of the status quo and you're stuck in a loop. Whereas if we do this, we release ourselves from the chains of the status quo and we get to enjoy the infinite abundance of operating at a higher frequency. And it's just beautiful. But it is tough. It does take work. It does require deliberate decisions to override our animal nature. Over here, how does that set us up? Okay, to me, what this does, it looks like it creates an environment where we can create soul bonds, soul, S-O-U-L, soul bonding relationships with ourselves and each other. Not just here at the Terra Illumination crowd that's here tonight, but with anyone and everyone who comes into contact with us. Each one of us as individuals, like this becomes like the energy of an aura. Like with the Six of Cups here, my feeling is like we are sowing seeds of love, we're planting seeds of love, and we leave a trail behind us of seeds of love, and those blossom, and other people sense that and know that. They want what we have. We have something special, and we share that. And in so doing, we are planting seeds of love. By doing this, we have planted seeds of love, and we are harvesting seeds of love in the so-called future. Some people think of this as a past life card. I'm thinking of this as a future life card that is created out of our maturity here to outgrow our primal nature, our instinctive default nature where there's no soul thinking. We're just operating as, from reflexes or from reactions. This requires deep, deep consciousness, and from there we grow. To me, it looks like we're planting seeds of love that last for lifetimes, okay? And then this becomes very valuable. It's like you could almost cash in this card on another lifetime. That's how I look at that. And so the heart is very happy to see this because it feeds on itself. To me, this looks like in its purest sense, love breeds love. Love breeds love. But it has to happen one decision at a time. Anytime we feel something that threatens the process of sowing the seeds of love, then we have to deliberately overcome the desire of spiritual laziness to not do that, and we make the decision to sow the seeds of love anyway, no matter how tough it is. And sometimes it takes a lot of courage, and sometimes we can't do that on our own. Sometimes it's much more effective, much more powerful to do that in a group, in a team where it's like the collective, like brothers in arms, brothers and sisters in arms. And we do that. Love breeds love, decision by decision, starting with the attitude of gratitude. Okay, so thank you very much. That's our reading. I'm going to leave it like that for a few moments, and then I am going to have another sip. Thank you very much. Cheers. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna play another. So wait a minute. Did I? Let's have a look. Hey Starsy, I just saw your name on the screen. I'm gonna play I Surrender. That's what I'm gonna do. This is a very humbling song. If I can find it. I think it's this one. Hold on, I'll find out in a minute.
Oh, how the body craves. Oh, how the heart it aches. Oh, how the soul knows all of this. Feels like you've manifest.
Wait a minute, you're not supposed to hear that. That's me messing around in the recording studio. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it here. Try this one.
I surrender. Oh, how the body craves. Oh, how the heart it aches. Oh, how the soul knows all of this. Feels like you manifested me in ways that match perfectly, answering my own wish for sure. So many lifetimes in the making. This time round there is no faking, no mistaking. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. There's no going back, don't even have any maps to our new futures. There's only our next breath. We're so fully committed and so fully engaged, so courageous and fighters to the death, building bridges from your heart to my heart, forging bonds of honest structure, our new start. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. There's no way around this, only way out is through. There's no way around this, open the door to bliss. Only way out is through, that's what we're gonna do, yeah. I surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace.
Yeah, I thought that song might be kind of appropriate right now. Anyway, we've kind of reached the end of the show. It's been a jolly good time. I'm really glad we had the chance to do this. I just wanted to leave that there for the last second for anybody who wants to reinterpret it however they want. I see it as a pulsing beat, like a process going here to the next beat of the heart, and we're surrounded by this energy that I talked about earlier. All right, I think I saw something very upbeat. I think Gregory wants something upbeat, so I'm going to close it out with a song called Love is the Word. And then we can all go about our day and have a life. Move on till the next time. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. These last few months have been really life-changing for me, and the whole of 2020 is very life-changing, and we're only in the early stages. I know I'm personally going through a lot of massive changes right now, but they're very slow and kind of deep and heavy, and I wish I could just get through it all and be done and come out the other side, but the only way out is through. Okay, we have to go through this. I personally have to go through this, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Oh, there's still a bunch of us here. Okay. Well, listen. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. It's been a super fun show. Thank you for your kindness, for your generosity. Please, everybody, check out with each other. Set up your interconnectings, however you want to do that, and we'll meet again soon. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be back in the United States by like this time next week. And we'll probably shift back to the Sunday night lives instead of the Saturday night lives. We'll see how it goes. Okay? Oh, hi, Ivona. You're still there? It must be very late for you. Gosh. Whoa. Okay. Let me just check in with the chat. I'm just going to see who's here doing what. Okay. Hi, Nikki. Bless you too. Bless you too. Hi, Nikki. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? I think that's it. Okay. Alright. So, say goodbye to everybody. Check out with yourselves and each other. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm going to put on the song called... Ooh. There's something I'm going to play. We haven't played it for a long time. It's called Love the Word. To me, this is like a chant type of song, which I'm hoping I can do it live one day. I mean, I'm kind of in my twilight years right now, but I still have a few miles left in me, and I want to do this live on a stage. So the way I recorded this, I did it in such a way like I was trying to pretend I was like at a big, like on a big stage with a lot of backup singers and a really good band. So you have to forgive the kind of recording quality, but if you can imagine, almost like one of those gospel choir things. I've been to one of those gospel choir events. I've been to a gospel event that had 50,000 people in the audience. It was freaking mind-boggling. Okay? It's mind-boggling, the power of the human voice, the power of the spoken word. Okay? So I'm going to play this song. It's called Love the Word. Again, it's kind of like one of those chanty songs, like where people get out their smartphones and they kind of go, ah, ah, do, do, do. It's one of those type of songs, okay? So I'll show you in a minute, okay? It goes like this.
Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word. it now. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now, sing the